Hi there, I'm Cathi Barker from Software Solutions, and we're looking at Microsoft Outlook. What I want to take you through now are some of the time savers that you have available to you in Outlook when it comes to replying or constructing a new email. Let's start by creating a new email, and I want to introduce you to a topic called, let me just bring this into view, a topic called Quick Parts. Now, Quick Parts is when you want to call up content that you use on a regular basis. And instead of trying to find an email in your sent items where you've typed that before and then copy and pasting it into a new email or into a reply, instead you just want to type a keyword and press a key and that text comes up. Let me show you. So if I want to bring up my frequently asked questions, I literally type a keyword FAQ, which I made, and then I press the function key F3, and that's like the trigger. And that brings up my frequently asked questions. And so that's a really quick way to pull up that text without having to type it or find where you've typed it before and copy and paste it. Now I'm going to go undo and let me show you another one. For example, if somebody registers on a course and it's a face-to-face course, then I'll type face-to-face reg because they're registering on a face-to-face course, and I'll press F3. That just naturally brings up the text, and again I'll just type in the name of the attendee, what the course was, what date it was, etc. So if you have text that you use or reuse on a regular basis, you may want to use quick parts, and you can mix your quick parts. So I might want to send them a course registration, and then following that I now want to also send them the Excel 2016 stage 1 material, and they're coming to Bushy Park. So I type again a keyword and I press F3, and that brings up the standard courseware that they can download for that particular course now that they've actually registered on that course. But they may also be attending the Excel level 2. So let's say I go Excel 2016 stage 2, and again they're coming to Bushy Park in F3. And then I can just of course cull anything that's been repeated. But the whole idea is that I can quickly call up standard text with hyperlinks, with bullet points, with tables that has got information my clients need. That way I don't forget to tell one person one thing and another person another thing. At least I'm consistent and I'm thorough. And it saves a mega amount of time. So how do we create a quick part? Let me just go Control A and delete what I've got there. Another example is whenever I need my logo, I type logo and I press F3 and it just brings up my logo. This is not only in Outlook, this is also in Word. So a lot of things that we do in Outlook cross or translate through to Word as well. You can create quick parts in Outlook and create quick parts in Word. They don't infiltrate each other. But I'm going to just delete this, for example. So it can be a picture, it can be a table, it can be bullet points, it can be a paragraph, it can be 10 pages. It's anything you want to recall quickly. So let's just say I have, some standard text. So I might just generate some dummy text. All right, oops, and I will spell that correctly. And so I've got this standard text, and maybe these are my terms and conditions. And I will make that bigger. And maybe these are bulleted points, or maybe that's maybe that's an introductory paragraph, and these things here, these are bullets. So there's my text, for example. There could be a picture in it, it could be a table in it, it could have some bold, for example, it could have some underline, for example. It's got all sorts of stuff in it. The thing is, once you've created it in the message area of a new email, then you want to select it and turn it into a quick part. So I'm just going to drag and select all of it, though I could just go Control A and select all of it, but I will drag because imagine there's other stuff around the place that I don't want to include. I'll go to Insert in the ribbon, and here's my Quick Parts button. If I click it, I can see all the quick parts that I've got in here, which is quite a few because I use a lot of quick parts. But what I want to do is save the selection, that is this here, to my quick part gallery. And it's at this point that you decide what you want to name your quick part so that you can recall and easily type it and then just press F3. I'm just going to go with T and C's. And okay. I'll then delete that. I'll type T and you can see it there. It starts to anticipate your quick part if you've given it a reasonably long name. My ones like FAQ were too short, and so I didn't get a little prompt like I'm getting here. I had to press F3. But when you've given it quite a long name like T and C's, it starts to preempt you, and it's saying here just press enter to insert. So I could just press enter and insert it. Or I could continue to have typed and pressed F3. Or I could have gone up to my quick parts and down in the T's, I would find my terms and conditions, T and C's. There it is there. But let's say I've made a mistake, as I have here, and I need to update my terms and conditions. Let's put an R in here, terms and conditions. And let's say I want to make that a different color and slightly bigger. Now I want to update my quick part because in business things are constantly changing. So when you insert a quick part and you make some changes to that quick part for 2023 or 2024, you then basically go and select the updated text. You go back to insert and back to quick parts and save it to the quick part gallery. If you give it the same name, T and C's, you'll be prompted, do you want to redefine, that is update, the building block or the quick part for the fact that you've made some changes? So we go yes. And so now when I delete that and go T and there it is there, press enter, there's my updated version of the terms and conditions. So in terms of creating content in a new email or replying or forwarding an email, if it's standard text that you use on a regular basis, then consider creating quick parts, and you can make as many as you want and you can insert as many quick parts into one email as you like. So it's really handy. Now another time saver in terms of content is an email template. Now, the reason you'd use an email template is you not only have standard text that you want to have, but you may want to have a standard subject line. So these are software solutions, terms and conditions. So a template includes a subject line, plus it includes any attachments, where a quick part doesn't include attachments. A quick part, we can include hyperlinks that go to attachments, but a quick part doesn't have the actual file attached. So I'm going to go and attach a file, and I might just browse this PC, and I'm going to go off to Software Solutions and Documentation, and here's my training terms and conditions. So this template, this email I'm now going to save as a template that I can call up whenever I need an email that has that subject line, that attachment, and that text in it. So I'm going to press F12. F12 is the shortcut key for save as. That saves me going file, save as, which is a bit tedious. If I press F12, then down here is where you save as type. Now it wants to save it as an email message, and you could do that, but I specifically want to save it as an Outlook template. So I'm going to change this to an OFT file, which is an Outlook template. Now it likes to put it in my Microsoft templates folder, but that's not where I want them to be. So I'm actually going to go to my working folder for software solutions, and in my documentation I've actually made a folder called email templates, and that's where I want to put all my templates. And see, you can see I've got a lot of templates here. These are templates I send after the Excel level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6 course, things like that. Now this is going to be the Software Solutions Terms and Conditions template, so I'll just leave it like that, or I could just shorten its name, but I'll just go save. Okay, so I've saved this as a template. How do you then use that template? Let me close this email, don't save. If I want to use it, I actually have to go to the folder. Let me just bring that into view. that contains my email templates. Now I've just gone for this button down here, which brings up my Explorer. But what you can do also is just the Windows logo key on your keyboard and E for Explorer. And then if I go to my working folder, let me just make sure I go to the right working folder, Software Solutions, Documentation, Email Templates, the email templates are in here. So Software Solutions, Terms and Conditions. Now I put it into Email Templates, and if I sort by modified, there it is there. So all you do, wherever you save that file, that email template, all you do is open it. And when you open up that template, you're able to then fill in details and you're able to send it to somebody, and it'll have the attachments, it'll have the subject line, and even have the body. So that's another massive time saver. But another time saver that we quite like, let me just close this and close this, is AutoCorrect. Let me open up a new email. Let me hold the control key and wheel forward just so I zoom in and you can see clearly what I'm up to. You may have noticed already that Outlook and Word and Excel and PowerPoint like to auto-correct things. For example, and I'll just go if I type a sentence without a capital letter at the beginning, as soon as I press the space bar, that little I will turn to a capital I. That's autocorrect. It automatically corrects so that the first letter of a sentence is in capitals. Another example of autocorrect is if I type my name with the caps lock on and I've got my head down and I don't realize that my caps lock is on like that, don't backspace. As soon as you hit the space bar, it'll autocorrect it. If you're slightly dyslexic, I feel I am some days, and I type TEH, as soon as I press the space bar, it's going to fix it and change it to the, plus, because it's the beginning of a sentence, it'll make the T a capital. That's autocorrect. Certain things like bracket C bracket, let me undo, that changes automatically into a copyright symbol. So not only is it fixing capitalization and spelling, and these are examples here, but it's also giving you symbols, such as copyright. For example, Microsoft is a registered name. So I go bracket, which gives me a registered name symbol. And that was just by typing that. And I just go undo straight away, Control Z, when I don't want it to change that instance. For example, I might be here going autocorrect changes TEH undo to THE. You know, I want to keep the mistake. So capitalization and spelling is one thing. Symbols is another thing. The other thing it does is fractions. So for example, when I go 1/2, as soon as I hit the space bar, it changes it to a half. And likewise with 3/4. Another thing autocorrect does is ordinals. Ordinals are, excuse me, things like the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. It superscripts or lifts up the ST, ND, AR, RD, or TH. Those are called ordinals, and that automatically happens. So it does a lot of things. It also fixes spelling mistakes as well. Now, what we do is we twist this and use this to our advantage to save us a lot of typing. And this is where I'm going with autocorrect can save you a lot of time in terms of content again. Quick parts is when you have like a paragraph or 3 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs, something big, that's quick parts. Templates, when you have attachments and a subject line, that's a template. But autocorrect are just words and phrases that you use often. So what do I use? What I use, for example, is SS. As soon as I hit the space bar, that's my company, Software Solutions. CB, as soon as I hit the space bar, Cathi Barker. MS, as soon as I hit the space bar, Microsoft, because I use these terms so often. Excel, as soon as I hit the space bar, it's Microsoft Excel for Windows. And dub, Microsoft Word for Windows. I've even got ones like project. Where do we go? We go into File, and we go into options. We make sure we've got mail on the left-hand side, and we go to spelling and autocorrect. And we go to autocorrect options. Now this feature is in all Microsoft programs, and whatever you do here will infiltrate all the other programs. So it's in here that I've typed SS, and I've said replace Software Solutions SS with Software Solutions. But you could add other ones, like I could say replace OL with Microsoft Outlook for Windows. Add. I could replace AC with Microsoft Access for Windows. Add. So add, replace whatever it is with whatever you want. And it will save you a massive amount of time. So then I'll go OK, and I'll go OK, and OK. And whenever I type OL and press the spacebar, I get Microsoft Outlook for Windows. And whenever I type AC and press the spacebar, I get Microsoft Access for Windows. Those are three major time savers in terms of content. Quick parts, email templates, autocorrect. Now I just want to squeeze in one other, and that is symbols. When we want to insert a symbol that autocorrect is not correcting, that doesn't reside on our keyboard, then typically we go to insert and we go to symbol and we find it in here. And if it's not in here, then we go more symbols. When we go more symbols, we've got wingdings here. Let me just double click this top to maximize it. And where did it go? That's interesting. Let's just bring in symbols again and maximize it. Oh, it's just disappeared. More symbols. Hold on one moment. Sorry about that, we just had a minor technical difficulty. So yeah, I've just made it larger. This is the font Wingdings, but other popular ones are Webdings. These cute little pictures here, like squares if you want people to tick things as having been done or not. But you've also got, besides Webdings and Wingdings 2 and 3, you've also got normal text. So it might be that you're looking for macrons that you want to insert into your email. Now, you can, for example, click on a character that you use regularly. So let me say I want this A, capital A with a line above it. And you can see I've assigned a shortcut key, Alt-Shift-A. And that's because I went to the shortcut key button and I literally pressed the key combination, Alt-Shift-A. And I went assign, and I assigned that key combination to that symbol, so that whenever I need that symbol, I literally can just type Alt-Shift-A. And if I need the lowercase version, I'll click on that, and you can see I've assigned Alt-A. So particularly the multi-vowels. With the multi-vowels, I've assigned Alt-A to the lowercase a, and over here I've assigned Alt-O to the lowercase o, and I've assigned Alt-E to the lowercase e, and I've assigned Alt-Shift-E to the uppercase E, Alt-Shift-O to the uppercase O, and Alt-Shift-A to the capital A, and the same for U, A, E, or U. So I've done that for the 5 vowels in lowercase and uppercase. So that's fine, but there are other symbols like degrees over here, and I see that Alt-D's been assigned to that. Squared, Alt-2 has been assigned to that, and cubed, Alt-3. So if you want to remember the shortcut keys for things that you use regularly, use the shortcut keys. And if you don't like the shortcut key that's been assigned, you can hit this button and assign your own shortcut key to common symbols that you work with. Like I might go for a tick, which would be in Wingdings. So I rock on down to Wingdings, and there it is there. I go for the tick here, and Control-Alt-T has been assigned to that tick. Well, I might want Alt-Shift-T, or even Alt-T, and I'll assign that and close. So now I can press Alt-T whenever I want to tick. And that's fine if you're good with shortcut keys, but if that's not your thing, let me close this. Instead of having to remember Alt-T is a tick and Alt-A is a lowercase o and a lowercase a, o, e, I, and u, you could just go Windows logo key, which is on your keyboard, typically in between the Control and the Alt key. Hold the Windows logo key and press full stop. If you do that, you'll actually get this window. And in this window are emojis, GIFs, and Kaimojis and symbols. And these are ones I've used regularly, so they're nice and handy. I can click that, click that, click that. Anything, the one, the pound, the euro, anything I need quick access to, even arrows I've used in the past. But if what I want is not in this list of symbols, I can actually hit this, or I can go up to here and choose more symbols. Now, when I go there, you'll see there's some recent ones, and this recent list grows as you choose more, but they fall under the categories of general punctuation, but there's also a category such as currency symbols, so different currencies if you're into international currencies, but there's also Latin symbols, which is your macrons. And you've also got other symbols in other groups. There's a lot of symbols. And so if I was using the macrons quite a bit, let's go for the lowercase e, then when I go to the top, that becomes part of my recent collection. And it's not showing there, but it will show as I start building. And even if I go back, I can even search like for tick, and there's a variety of ticks. I can choose which tick I want to insert. But if I want a GIF, I can click that, which makes it a more of a animated type of tick. And I can resize that because it's too big just by pulling its corner into the center. So as far as inserting symbols, which is part of the content regime, you can go to insert symbol and you can find it. If you do it regularly, you might want to assign a shortcut key to a symbol. Or if you're not into shortcut keys, use the Windows logo key and full stop to bring up a list of symbols. And oops, that's your keyboard. That also is a quick way to recall stuff that you've got on your keyboard. But if I go to symbols, for example, then I can see the various symbols, and there's the E now with the line above it, the macron. So it starts to build up my recent list with symbols I use on a regular basis. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Some really good ideas as far as creating content for new or replying to emails quickly, whether they be quick parts, whether they be email templates, whether they be autocorrect options, or whether they be symbols. Enjoy. Please come back, please like or subscribe, and please come back and look at some of my other Outlook videos. See you soon. Bye.